A handy debugging structure can be found under structures and is diagram disable structure. And click and drag this to be whatever size. So this works very similar to a case structure, but it only really has two pronounced states, and that's enable and disable. And we can add more states if we want, but they're only going to be disable states. So if we just come down here and click add a sub diagram after, we get two disables and we have one enable state. So what this does is if I am testing out some code, so let's just create. I just spilled my water. Shit. So let's just create a numeric control, and we'll put that. And you can already kind of see that it has like this little filter on top of it. So I mean, this is the disabled state, and if we drag this into the enabled, it stays that bright, more clear color, or I guess no filter on it. However you say that. So you can obviously have a pretty good idea what this is already doing. And so let's say on my enable state, all I really want to do is I want to just add two numbers together. So what you can do is a little trick. Instead of Control C, Control V, you can just click on whatever you want to copy and just hit Control and then left mouse down and then drag, and that kind of puts a copy of whatever you clicked on. So I just want to add two numbers together, and I want to create an indicator showing this. And then let's say like a very basic example, but let's say my formula, I'm not really sure if I want to add or subtract, so I will put a subtraction case, and then this is the plus. But if we click on, and this can be done with almost any object, you can right click and you can go to replace, and then it knows it was on the numeric pad by default, that adding little guy. So if we hit replace, it pulls up the numeric pad, and we can go to the subtract, but we can also go to all palettes. So if we wanted like an AND gate or whatever, we could actually change that. So we'll go to numeric, we'll go to subtract, and then let's say for this default case, I wasn't sure if I wanted to multiply. So if we run the code, and let's just take our two numerics and our indicator, we just wanted to add 3 and 6. Hit run, obviously 9 comes out. And what happens is, no matter what case this is on, so I could be on any of these two disables, and I run it, it's going to always pop to this enable state. So let's say, I didn't want to add, I actually wanted to subtract. You right click and you hit enable this subdiagram. So it takes that adding diagram and it just disables it. It just flip-flops it. So now we subtract those two numbers and we get a -3. And the same can be done with the multiplication state. So this can be just more of a debug tool when you don't you're testing out lots of different areas of codes, or like formulas or functions, and you don't want to use a case structure only if, for example, let's say this subtraction case, let's say it was, I don't know, going into someone's bank account. You wouldn't want to take out money, and this would have been a mistake. So if it was a case structure, there was a chance that this case could be selected. But using this disabled diagram structure, no matter what gets put in, this case will never run. So this is just a real handy kind of debugging tool, and it can be used sometimes quite a bit, especially if you're not 100% sure how certain parts of code is going to run. So I hope this is helpful, and stay tuned for more.